In addition to the main content, each morning I'll be sharing one of my favorite book quotes that you can listen to in 5 minutes or less. I'm going to share with you a selection of life passages from books that I've read myself that have really changed my life, and I've always felt like they're too good to keep to myself and just sit on my iPad. Today, I'm going to share a quick quote from Grant Cardone's 10x rule. And that's not just a little bit of an over-the-top thumbnail that I came up with to get your attention. It's actually a quote from Grant Cardone in the book, who is a 100% self-made man who went from being a drug-addled ghetto dirtbag to being a multi-millionaire. He's known for his bone-crushing words, and if you're like, I need a bone right now, this is the #1 spicy book out of all the books I've recommended over the years. I've always thought that it takes a lot of effort and energy to have a goal and go about your day with the mindset that everything is under your control and you're in charge. And on the other hand, it takes a lot of effort and energy to just go through the motions and make excuses and let time go by without trying. But I've learned through this book that they're both equally hard and take the same amount of energy. It's just as hard as taking action every day to achieve your goals, and it's up to you to choose one of these two ways of living. But there's one crucial difference. When you live a life of blame, you don't have to take responsibility for the outcome, because it's not your fault. It's the environment, the situation, or other people who made it happen. If you have a mindset of taking responsibility, you're in control of everything, and you're in charge of the outcome, whether it's good or bad. And if it's the latter, of course, you're going to try to work through it and get through it, because it's your responsibility, even if it's a bad outcome. It's just a difference. And Grant Cardone tells you this in a more direct, bone-crunching way in the book, and it's something that stuck with me for a while after I finished the book, is that if you want to get to where you want to be in life, you have to have the perspective that everything that happens to you, good or bad, comes from you. I am in control of everything that happens to me, even the seemingly uncontrollable things that I have no control over. What he means by control is a healthy sense of taking on a high level of responsibility and a way of coming up with effective solutions. He gives an example, and this one really stuck with me. Let's say the power goes out in my neighborhood, and instead of blaming the authorities for the outage, I look to see if there's anything I can do about it. Then I step in to minimize the negative impact of what happened and what will happen next. Nothing is ever urgent. It could be because too many people were using electricity at the same time, or because of a heat wave or an earthquake, or because someone hit a transformer. I paid my bills on time, and now I don't have electricity. I can't heat my house, I can't boil water, I can't use my refrigerator or computer. But blaming someone else won't change this situation. Only by taking a high level of responsibility for this situation can we come up with a useful solution. This situation didn't just happen because the power went out. It happened because I didn't have a backup generator. It's not a misfortune, and it's not a bad event. It's the result of shifting responsibility to someone else. Stop being an asshole and get a backup generator. What do you think? Did you feel empowered? After reading this, I've adopted this mindset in my life. I need to be stronger. I have assets, both fixed and liquid assets, and they go up and they go down, and I can't control the price. It's determined by wars, exchange rates, interest rates, a lot of macro variables and circumstances, and that's a fact that doesn't change. Nevertheless, if I want to think that I can control everything and that it's my responsibility, I need to be a strong asset first. I thought, I need to be the best asset, and then I'll be able to make better decisions when it comes to investing, because if you're the best asset, then everything else becomes secondary. I didn't want to be controlled by the outside world, and I didn't want to blame myself for my bad luck. Once I made that decision, I felt a lot more comfortable and relaxed about everything, and the time I spent investing in myself came naturally. What about you? We all have a lot to blame without even realizing it. It's so easy to do that in our social life, in our work life, starting with our co-workers, our bosses, people who don't work, people who complain. And it's so easy to do that when you're preparing for an exam or a job interview, because things are so bad right now, and it's so hard. and it's so hard because of what's going on. I think I've done that a lot in the past. I've done that with investing too, because when I got scammed, my first reaction was to blame the person who recommended it to me, not me. I want you to think about, as you watch this video, am I blaming others or am I blaming myself? Am I avoiding responsibility in my life or am I taking responsibility? And finally, am I unknowingly playing the victim in my own life? That's it for today's video. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the future episodes. Thank you. You've been great today.